This is my frustration with where we are right now as a country. Right now, there are dire, drastic, horrific things happening. They're forming up before our eyes. And when they're done forming up, when they're complete, they're going to tear apart this country like nothing you've ever seen. And the right, virtually all of it, almost everyone in the GOP, virtually everyone on the right, they don't seem to realize it. They don't seem to realize the urgency. They don't seem to be able to see with their eyes what is happening. Let's deal with this IRS thing real quick, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. What do we have? The latest and greatest from the IRS. Whistleblower allegations, specific whistleblower allegations against the Biden family. No, not just Hunter Biden, not just the dirtball crackhead son, specific allegations. Allegations like this text message Hunter Biden sent to a Chinese associate in 2017. I'm going to read this verbatim. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. That's the payoff. That's bribery. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Shortly after that text message, Hunter Biden's firm, he has a firm, got $5.1 million. The President of the United States of America, the President, not just his son, the President, they are bought off and bribed by China. Now, before we even move on to the system and damage control and how the right doesn't understand what's happening, let's take a moment and breathe that in. Let's marinate on that for a moment. As China makes massive moves around the globe, as China makes moves in South America, Africa, they're swarming Taiwan, setting up a military base or a spy base in Cuba. As China is aggressively moving, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America is limited in stopping them at all. Why? Because think of the blackmail material in possession that Xi Jinping is in possession of. Think what he has on Joe Biden and his dirtball son, Hunter Biden. The commander-in-chief is compromised. He must be removed from office now. He has to be removed and impeached from office now. Corinne Diversity Hire and John Kirby are struggling with this one.
You've stated that the president stands by his comment from the 2020 campaign that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with his son. And you stood at that podium and you reaffirmed that. Do you stand by your reaffirmation?
What I will say is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And I will leave it there. Anything else, I will refer you to the White House counsel.
This is not a change?
I just answered the question. You just asked me, does my statement change? I just told you nothing has changed. That's answering the question.
Does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign and the reaffirmations of that claim by his two press secretaries since then, that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with him?
No, and I'm not going to comment further on this.
We're good.
James, let me save you some. Let me save you some breath. If you're going to ask about this, I am not addressing. I know you do more than I'd like you to have. I am not going to address this issue from this podium. I'm just not going to do it.
All right.
I'm not going to do it.
Where was the president on the day?
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Ouch, right? How bad is it? Well, how did all this Hunter Biden stuff start? Well, for one, he was deducting payments to hookers off his taxes. That's kind of funny, but still, deducting payments to hookers off of his taxes. I'm not making that up. We know that an assistant U.S. attorney prevented an investigation into him. We know that U.S. Attorney David Weiss tried to investigate Hunter Biden and bring a stronger case against him. And wrap your mind around this, the DOJ twice stopped that investigation. So now we have Merrick Garland, who should have appointed a special counsel for all this, instead running cover. The top law enforcement man in the United States of America, the Attorney General of the United States, is using the DOJ as a protection racket for Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Merrick Garland was even recommended. The IRS recommended that he bring charges, and Merrick Garland said, what? Charges, huh? Wrong number. That's the situation as a country. And Merrick Garland's response to all this was pretty telling.
I certainly understand that some have chosen to attack the integrity of the Justice Department and its components and its employees by claiming that we do not treat like cases alike. This constitutes an attack on an institution that is essential to American democracy and essential to the safety of the American people. Nothing could be further from the truth.
We know it's true. He's spitting in our face. In just the last few years, we've watched the FBI, DOJ, we've watched the system weaponize itself against the enemies of the Democrats. We are watching the end of the United States of America as we know it. We are watching the beginning of the end. This is how countries end. And what has the response been? Let's just go over some of the GOP responses as the Titanic sinks beneath the waves. If the whistleblower allegations are true, this will be a significant part of a larger impeachment inquiry into Merrick Garland's weaponization of the DOJ. That sounds a whole lot to me like maybe we'll get to it. Who knows? We're looking into it. Hey, don't worry, guys. We're looking into it. And let's keep in mind that a lot of this stuff that happened in the DOJ, a lot of the really dirty stuff, especially at the FBI, didn't actually happen under Merrick Garland. It happened under Trump Attorney General Bill Barr. And need I remind you about this little gem from Bill Barr, which is him stepping up to the microphone and saying, I'm not doing anything back to them.
Those who broke the laws will be held to account. But this cannot be, and it will not be, a tit-for-tat exercise. We are not going to lower the standards just to achieve a result. The only way to stop this vicious cycle, the only way to break away from a dual system of justice is to make sure that we scrupulously apply the single and proper standard of justice for everybody.
Slow down. There's no need to rush to the lifeboat. Hey, did you forget your favorite coat back in your room? Oh, go get it. You've got time. No big deal. Slow down. Nobody on the right seems to understand it. People call me an extremist. Jesse, it's too far. You're being extreme. When I call for things like AGs, state AGs in red states, when I call for them to begin bringing charges, indicting prominent Democrats and Democrat donors, people reach out to me and say, that's too far. Jesse, what are you talking about? Do you understand that I'm the moderate trying to save this country from what's coming? I'm the moderate. But nobody on the right, nobody seems to understand how evil this system is and what they're doing and what they're going to do. Even Trump, who should understand it more than anybody, because these people are going to lock him in a cage for the rest of his life. Even Trump doesn't seem to understand what he's dealing with.
If I wasn't running, or if I was doing badly in the polls, all of this investigation would stop immediately.
No, Mr. President, it wouldn't.
For too long, we've been led to believe that communism is a thing of the past. But the truth is, communism is alive. It's here, and it's infiltrating every aspect of American life. Introducing the Anti-Communist Manifesto by Jesse Kelly, the practical guide for patriots ready to defend our nation from its most dangerous enemy. Discover the shocking extent of communist infiltration in our education system, their alliance with American corporations, and the twisted truth behind environmentalism. This eye-opening book exposes the true face of communism and empowers you to fight back. Join the fight for freedom. Pre-order your copy of the Anti-Communist Manifesto today by going to jessekellybook.com.